Hello, this is Tom from anti-proton.com, and this is the second of my two videos I'm putting out today on falsehoods. The first one was on nuclear physics type falsehoods. The second one's on computer falsehoods. I get lots and lots of emails, so I like to kind of save them up and answer a few of them. This is just a little quick email answer thing. It's not like some heavily composed video where I have all kinds of graphics or do something. First off, let me start off by saying that I've been worked to death recently and not had any time to do any of my videos. I'm trying to get around to my second part of my programming video, but oh my god, I've been worked to death. I'm finally taking vacation, so I'll be able to start getting back into finishing up things like my computer programming video. So hold on, that'll be coming. I get emails, like I said, with people saying all kinds of stuff, and I hear people saying all kinds of funny things about computers that aren't true. So I figured I would address a couple of them really quickly. These are kind of funny. The most of them, half of them are concern Macintoshes. The other half are concerning regular computers. I should point out, by the way, at the very beginning, that I have a personal dislike of Macintosh. I have a lot of friends that like Macintosh, and we argue to death over this. Like, we're constantly trying to just one-up each other on whether Macs are good or not. And obviously, I take the position that they're not. So I'm going to try not to put too much of my anti-Mac venom in my response here, because I'm going to try to stay neutral if I can. But yeah, and if you like Macintosh, sorry. Anyway, first one, computers slow down over time. That is sort of true, sort of not. Computers apparently slow down over time. What that means is that they become bogged down by little programs, all those little crappy programs that people download and install all over their computers. That slows them down over time. The computer's ability to perform operations within a given period of time, its ability to work and how much work it can do, does not really slow down. From a scientific perspective, it is actually technically true that the ability of a computer to perform work does slow down given time, but this change that I'm talking about, this actual change, is so minuscule as to be nearly impossible to detect. It's not impossible, but incredibly difficult to detect, and not what you're saying. When you see your computer slowing down over time, what you're saying is the computer having to do more work and becoming more cluttered. And certain operating systems and hardware are more predisposed to this than others. For example, Microsoft Windows has a problem whereby it has a registry, a temporary location. Well, it's not really temporary. A location where it stores a lot of little pieces of information that programs need. I don't want to go too much into detail with what a system registry is, but let's just say that's what that is. Think of it like a large catalog of information that programs can write to and read from. And this gets corrupted and fragmented and all kinds of other fun stuff. And over time, that slows the system down. So if you can clean that up you can speed your system up. A well-maintained computer that is kept in good condition and everything is smoothed out on it. Let's say programs that don't need to be there are removed. If it's Windows, for example, the registry is defragged and cleaned constantly. And things like that are done. If it's a Unix or Linux box, you make sure you don't have zombie processes running in the background, stuff like that. If you clean up the machine and you keep it in good condition, it will actually continue to run approximately the same way it was when you first bought it. It's just that nobody ever does that, so that's why everybody thinks that they slow down. Secondly, I need a computer repair person. I need to pay them a whole bunch of money to remove a virus. You might, but you don't have to. If you buy something like Norton, an actual hardcore antiviral software, it can actually sometimes fight its way onto your machine and then remove the viruses. It's like a D-Day invasion where, like it hits the beachhead and fights its way on and beats off the virus and slowly gets rid of it. Some software is capable of doing that. Some of it is not. I've tried to install Norton 2 or 3 times on a bad machine, and it finally got its way on there and was able to remove all the bad stuff that was on it and clean out the system. So keep that in mind. If you have your software backed up, of course, you can always reformat your computer and reinstall your operating system, which is a pain in the butt, but will wipe out the virus. Viruses don't usually survive that. It is theoretically actually possible for a specialized, highly tailored custom virus to survive such a thing, but such viruses are more academic than anything else. They don't really exist in the real world. The stuff that you and I normally bump into, you format the hard drive, you throw in a new operating system, you're done. Problem solved. So just to throw that out there that you can do that. I see so many people when I'll walk into like a computer place, not a computer place, but little electronic shops. I'll go in there to like buy something, and I hear the repair guy over there quoting somebody some ridiculous sum of money to fix a really simple problem, and it always kills me. I'm thinking to myself, if you had your stuff backed up, you could just reinstall your operating system and be done with it, and that would take care of that. Also, I would recommend a heavy, intense antiviral piece of software, such as Norton. I like Norton. Norton is a hog. Oh my God, Norton is a hog. It eats resources for breakfast. But let me tell you something. In my 10 years of running Norton, I have never had a virus. Never. Now, I mean, I'm also, you know, somewhat savvy of computers. Being a computer scientist, I don't necessarily do stuff that gets my computer loaded with viruses. But I've never had a single one. I can just scour the net with impunity. So just tossing that out there. I have seen people with other antivirus software suites that do get hit. One of the reasons that Norton's pretty potent in other systems besides Norton, other systems that do the same thing that Norton does, and that is that they have a the reason they're good is because they have kind of like, it's not exactly a firewall, it's kind of a heuristic firewall that is smart and learns and blocks things from getting on the system in the first place, as opposed to a common antiviral software which just deletes everything that gets on after the fact. And now to get into the last part, the Mac ones, because I get so many misconceptions with Macs, it's just ridiculous. Number one, Macs don't crash. Are you kidding me? Macs crash. They're computers. Computers crash. Macs are computers, therefore Macs crash. Macs crash quite often. I've seen them go crash. I've met friends that have Macs, and they're always trying to show me how much better their Mac is. I watch them crash all the time. Where are people seeing these Macs that don't crash? They crash all the time. I'm not saying they crash more or less than like Windows machines, but they certainly crash. Even Unix and Linux crash. Not very often, but they do. Macs crash just fine. So I don't know where that comes from. It's the silliest thing. Number two, Macs don't get viruses. Are you kidding me? Of course Macs get viruses. Macintosh users just don't know they have viruses because they don't think they get them, so they don't have antiviral software. You should get antiviral software if you own a Macintosh. It does exist. Because Macs are completely susceptible to viruses. There's absolutely nothing about them that makes them unsusceptible to viruses. Hackers and people that used to write viruses in the olden days didn't write viruses for Macintosh because they kind of, you just kind of let the Macintosh people alone. You know what I mean? They're not harming anybody. They're sitting there looking at their little pictures and stuff. It's just not a good thing to hit them with viruses. And you don't hit Unix and Linux because that's kind of like, it's what the hackers and so on use. So you don't want to infest yourself. And Windows was a prime candidate because Windows has a lot of homogeny in its actual architecture, so that also makes it very, very easy to make a virus for a Windows system. Last but not least, Macs are better than PCs. Not true, because a Mac is a PC. You can take a Microsoft Windows disk, put it on a Macintosh, and install Microsoft Windows on a Macintosh. It is a PC, modern day Macs, not the old ones. They got rid of their hardware and software that made them different. They are now just PCs that have a Unix operating system on it that has had most of its functionality removed, and it's been designed to look like older Macintosh did. So there you go. Anyway, those are some quick little computer things. Throw out any questions if anybody has any more. I get them all the time. So. And I'll see if I can answer them. This has been Tom from anti-proton.com, and the other videos are coming soon.